it's Lucy. We're back with another episode of The Juice, and today I have my girl, Brittany Rose, on here.
What's up, y'all? It's Brittany Rose.
From 100.7 The Tiger. So look, I just want to jump right into telling you about how my day was.
All right, let's do it, yes.
Yeah, this tequila is definitely doing me some good. So I woke up this morning on the wrong side of the bed for no reason. Was not mad at anybody. Yeah. No one did me anything wrong. But my husband, he was trying, and I was just like, go away, don't talk to me, don't look at me.
Ooh, yes.
So we finally came down to understanding that when I get in those moods, can anyone relate? I don't want you to touch me.
No.
I want you to want to touch me.
Yeah.
And like try every now and then so I can tell you don't touch me.
Right.
But like I still need you to put that effort in, but give me my space.
Yes. I want you to know that I'm mad and I'm upset and I need you to want me, but I don't want you to mess with me either.
Exactly. No. But then every now and then I need you to make a little bit of an effort so I know that the love is still there and you're not mad, because if you get mad, it's going to explode and it's going to be a big thing.
It's not your turn to be mad. It's my turn to be mad.
Exactly. Yeah.
I get that. No, yeah. I mean, I have those mornings a lot of times. If you ask my husband, he's like, you're bipolar. And it's not bipolar.
No,
it's I get mood swings.
Maybe being a woman, I guess.
It's just being a woman, I guess.
So you understand and he 100%. Understands.
I feel like any woman does.
I feel bad for him from time to time, but
I mean, he's bad. They signed up for this.
They really did. Look, we signed up with a lot too, having musicians as husbands.
100%. We go through a lot. So if we wake up one morning and we're not 100%, they get it.
So speaking of having musicians as husbands, that was actually something that I never thought in a million years that I would do. I've always been, like, prior to recently, which we're going to touch on that too, but prior to recently, I was always really insecure. And being in the spotlight or having a husband in the spotlight is something I never personally thought that I'd be able to handle.
Yeah.
Whenever we met, of course, in the beginning, I didn't even know he was a musician. And it was like 2 or 3 weeks in, because it was during COVID. He wasn't playing shows. My mom was like, oh, yeah, you need to give him a chance. Give him a chance.
Yeah.
Then I give him a chance. I'm falling for him, find out he's a musician, and I make another call to my mom. I don't think I can do this.
Well, I remember him saying that, like, I guess he had even said, like, oh, I'm not tall enough. I'm a musician. Like, he has a beard, like all these things that you're just not really into.
Yeah.
And then look, they say opposites attract. So.
And then didn't you say that, like, your dad told you stay away from either musicians or media or something like that? Now that's pretty much your entire life.
Well, yes, anybody in the spotlight. My dad growing up was always a football coach. And so my dad was always at major universities. We've been at Georgia. We've been at Clemson. We've been at Texas A&M. We were at Auburn for a very long time. And just, being in a position that, especially if you lose a game, they're going to bash whoever they can bash. The coaches, the players, whoever they can bash. And so my dad has always said, don't listen to the media. Don't get on social media. Don't deal with that bullshit. And ending up in the media, but also ended up with a husband that is in the spotlight, like you said, you have to kind of deal with it on both ends. Like myself being in media, him being in the spotlight, being a musician, it's just, a lot of noise at once. But you learn from it and you learn to cancel it out and you kind of find yourself. Like you said earlier, you were a little insecure.
Right.
I was always insecure. I was that ugly duckling growing up. I
can't even imagine that. I cannot.
Coke bottle glasses. I had a bowl cut at one point.
Oh no.
Like had bad skin. It was awful. So I was always just like that insecure kind of person. I never liked anything about myself. I didn't like my teeth. I didn't like the way I talked. I like any of that stuff. So now being in the position that I am, not only just having a father that's kind of in the spotlight, but a husband that's in the spotlight as well.
And then now you're in the spotlight.
And now I kind of put myself in the spotlight. I'm like, where did that little girl go? So I've kind of
You've
grown
really come out of your shell. And I can say that I have too. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I think in this industry, you see that you're going to have people that you've grown up with that might not support you as much as complete strangers do. But those complete strangers have a way of making you feel so confident and so at home.
Yes.
I was telling Thomas the other day, whenever you were at the Texas Club and you were announcing everyone, you were glowing. You were on the stage and you had your beer in your hand. And
that's about right.
Yeah. And you were you up there. And that gave me another boost of confidence for myself. So I feel like even though you had your insecurities, I have my insecurities. When we're all doing this together, we're in a way like leaning on each other 100%. And helping.
And a little secret, I hate getting on stage at big crowds like that and announcing on stage. I hate it.
You'd never know, though.
So self-conscious. Like you said, I feel like everybody's looking at me saying, oh my gosh, why is her hair like that? Why is her makeup like that? Like, oh my gosh, look how huge she is. Like, I always just feel
You're
like
gonna
people
be your
are
worst
judging
critic,
me. Yes. And they never do. And like you said, I feel like a lot of people that have been, that I guess you could say strangers that didn't know me growing up, I've had a lot of people when I'm out in public, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're Brittany Rose. I listen to you all the time. I love you. I love your show so much. I listen, like I have a son that I talk about a lot. He's like, well, we've, watched Colt grown up kind of thing. And I'm like,
they're excited to meet you. And then that in return, you're like, how? I'm just a normal person. But it can completely make someone's day. And we've touched on this before, can make someone's day to just give them that little smile, because you might not feel like your status is anything, but other people look up to you.
Which is so wild to me.
It is absolutely crazy.
I don't feel like I do that with a lot of people. So I feel like a lot of people wouldn't do that to me. I guess I just feel like, everybody's kind of on an equal base and like an equal status. And so I like have people that obviously I kind of admire, but I would never have thought that there's
You'd
people
be one
out
that's
there.
looking up to you.
Yeah. Right. Is so wild to me when people come up and know who I am or even knows who my husband is. I'm like,
it's exciting.
Kendall?
It is.
Yeah.
So my new fan base has become like 11, 12-year-old little girls. And I actually had a group of girls that dressed up as me for Celebrity Day for Spirit Week.
Stop. I had to do this. Okay.
Is that not the most special feeling in the entire world?
And I'm not a crier, but like her mom sent me a picture. She had a Kendall Schaefer shirt on, actually. Had some like white cowgirl boots and like blue jean skirt or something, dressed up at me for like Celebrity Day or something at school. And I'm like,
right, but I'll take it. I'll do whatever. So she messaged me on Instagram the other day, and I planned with her parents to surprise her, and we were going to wear the same outfit. So we wore the same little skirt. Yeah. She was at the festival, and I brought her on stage and let her throw out shirts with me. And so she's like the little popular thing at school. It is absolutely adorable.
And something so small like that can make such an impact in like a young child's life.
It does.
So it's so cool that you do that.
And you never know. I mean, that might get her into public speaking, or it might get her into wanting to be a musician herself. Yeah. Just the little things like
maybe
that.
We should retract. No, don't get into public speaking. Don't go be a musician.
I don't know. I mean, it's not half bad.
Do you have, I mean, I know y'all have children, and Thomas being a musician as well. Do y'all tell y'all's children, hey, don't be a musician? Or if you would kind of embrace it if they
It's actually the complete opposite.
Really?
Yeah. So a couple of we're not going to go into depth, but two of Tommy's children actually have a lot of musical talent. His little girl can sing, and she's very young. So her just showing that talent already, he's wanting her to embrace that, because for the longest time, whether it have been past marriages or just different parts in his life, music was always second for him. And whenever he and I got together, we discussed it, and we were like, look, if this is your dream and your goal, you don't ever want to be 90 years old looking back on it and saying, I wish I would have gone that route. So as where I was the one that was able to encourage him, we quit our jobs, we did all of that and put 100% full time into music.
Oh, girl.
Yeah, that's the mindset that he wants to have now with his kids. You know, if you have a dream, go for it.
Right.
Obviously, college and all of that is what you want your children to do. Yeah. And I actually know a young musician from around here where I think it might have been his dad said, I will support your entire music career as long as you stay in school. Yeah. And whichever happens first happens. And, so be it. But he also has another one, and his oldest son, he's going more into like the hip hop rap side of things, more than country. Yeah. And he is doing incredible. I mean, he has a YouTube following. Yeah. So he definitely.
Which you have to have now.
Yeah, you have to have the following.
You have to have those numbers up. I feel like that's one of the hurdles with Kendall a lot. Like, with different things like, oh, you need to get your numbers up. You got to get your
That
numbers
is the
up.
biggest thing right now. It truly is, because so if I like a song, I might go listen to the song, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to follow the person. Right. Now, if I have a bunch of songs that I like from them, I'll follow, but the following on, especially Instagram, that one is the hardest that I've seen to build. But anyway, back to the kids. We really want them, if you have a dream, go 100% for it and do the music. Now, he does tell them that it's hard.
Yes.
You know, like
you want to be honest with them.
Every time you feel like it is the end and you want to give up, you have to remember the reason that you started.
And you got to remember, too, just because you are good does not mean you're going to make it.
Oh, my God.
There's a million people in Nashville that are probably better than a lot of the musicians that are making it big right now, and they are struggling hard.
Right place, right time.
It's just, I hate to say, it's about who you know a lot of the times.
So I wanted to touch back also on your dad, because obviously I wore my LSU today.
Yes, I love it. Your birth jersey.
He's a quarterback also?
Yeah, so back in the day, my dad played at LSU. He was the quarterback of LSU, so he
I kind of stalked him a little bit. Did he also play for the Saints?
Yeah, he played.
Okay, that's really cool.
Like that you know that.
That's neat.
Yeah, so he played for the Saints for about a year, I think, and then he ended up going play Canadian ball for a little while as well. So he, you know, played football for a little while and then got into coaching. And it's kind of wild. I don't know how it is nowadays, but back in his day, it wasn't really typical for you to be done with football and then go directly as a college football coach. You normally have to start out being a high school coach and kind of work your way up, or be a GA or something like that.
And he just kind of jumped.
He just jumped and went. I think his first
obviously
job was
he had something
State,
special.
Actually, he coached. It was his first coaching job, Nichols.
So with him being a quarterback, like I said, you grew up with with football in your veins.
Yeah.
I am learning. I'm trying to do my best.
Yeah.
Tommy tries to explain everything to me, and basketball is more my thing.
Okay.
I can call everything for basketball,
That's
but
awesome.
football I'm learning, and so I'm a little jealous of that. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I'm jealous of the basketball thing. Like I played basketball one, and I like basketball. So I mean, I love all sports. I mean, there's some that I'm like, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Hockey, things like that.
Right. I want to go and I want to see it. I might not understand what's going on, but I'm a dress cute. I'm a dress cute as shit going there.
And I'm going to pay attention to the game and enjoy it a lot. Yes, I'm all about experiences. So that too, I've always said like some of my bucket list things are going to the like the Stanley Cup, like the things like that, just like the championship of the championships. I would love to do that. Go to the Super Bowl, obviously in New Orleans this year. Like I would die if I got a chance to go to that. My dad was like, I've been twice. And I'm like,
hey, look, someone that's listening needs to bring us there. Yeah. I mean, hey, plug that in there. So no, that's really cool. I'm going to learn football sooner or later. And we've been talking football. Your dad, you want to tell everybody who he is?
Yes.
I mean, we've told all of his stats and all of his, information.
Yeah. So my dad, Steve Ensminger, he was the offensive coordinator at LSU for a little while. Well, I say that. He actually started out as the tight ends coach, and then Coach O came in.
Okay, see, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
not in my research, I didn't find that part.
Yeah, so he started as the tight ends coach, and my dad always wanted to be the tight ends coach because he always said, when they go to fire coaches, they don't fire the tight ends coach. They fire the coordinators.
Job security. Yeah.
They fire the coordinators. And they're not like, oh, that's the tight end's fault. So he always enjoyed being the tight ends coach. And then when Coach O became the head coach, Coach O went to him, and they go really far back. My dad has known Coach O for a very long time. So they're really good friends. And Coach O went to him and was like, hey, I need you to be my coordinator. And my dad actually had told him no. And he was like, no, like, I'm not asking you. Like, I need you to be my coordinator. And he was like, well, let me talk to my wife. And so, of course, obviously, they agreed on it. He ended up being the coordinator. Did a great job. Obviously, he recruited Joe Burrow. So
Joe Burrow.
He got Joe Burrow to LSU. So
Daddy Joe.
Yeah. So, then obviously, once Coach O wasn't there any longer, he still was under contract. So he stayed on as a
Is he an analyst now?
He was an analyst.
Oh, he was.
He stayed on as an analyst to kind of fulfill his contract, but now technically he is retired from LSU. So he is living his best life. A
long career with it, though, so that's so awesome.
Yeah.
Did that have any kind of effect, or like knowing those people, did that help you get started in, well, no, he said he didn't want you in media, but knowing those people, did that help you get into radio or doing anything like that, or how did you get started?
So funny that like I got into radio. The way I did it was I was in school at Auburn, Alabama, a high school over there, Auburn, Alabama.
Alabama?
Yeah, girl, don't judge me.
Alabama.
I know. So my dad coached at Auburn for a very long time.
Okay.
So I went to Auburn in high school, and after my junior year, I went intern at Guarantee Media because my cousin Ashley Lewis, who actually played softball at LSU, was married to Gordy Rush. So Gordy Rush is now the VP over at Guarantee Media, and I think maybe, I don't even know, I guess maybe my dad asked if if they had a job for me or something, I was like, well, I don't want a job. I'm in high school. Like,
I don't want to do
I
that.
don't want a job. So I went and interned at Guarantee Media after my junior year, going into my senior year, and I enjoyed it so much that I went back after my senior year and kind of stayed there for a little while. So I've been at Guarantee Media since I was 17. I don't know if I'm 33 or 34 anymore. I'm not going to lie to you. Is that awful?
You don't even know how old you are.
I'm 33. So I've been at Guarantee Media for
quite a while,
very long time now. And so Gordy Rush kind of gave me my start into it. And he always asked me, oh, do you want to be on the radio? Do you want to be on the radio? Because beforehand, I started out as a promotions intern. So I more so helped out with the events and whatnot. And then actually,
I just kind of like phased your way into it.
Yeah. Actually, then after I went into traffic, which is, for people that don't know, the behind the scenes of the radio, is the commercials and stuff. So the traffic teams, I always say, is like the heart of radio. Like, this behind the scenes, but if you didn't have the traffic department,
it just wouldn't all come together.
Work. And so they put the shows in, they put the commercial spots in, they put them in and place them how they need to be placed. There's so many different.
So you were able to learn all of the the different working parts before you were actually the one on the radio speaking all of the time.
Yeah, and the way that kind of happened is so funny. It was that some of the higher ups were all in a meeting one time, and they're like, we need a young female on our country station. And I want to say the owner, Flynn Foster, of the group, actually wrote my name on a piece of paper and slid it to someone. Which is wild. Somebody told me this, and I was like, Flynn's never told me this, and I'm like, it seems legit. Like, so
I mean, that's a neat story though. Like, you were highly respected,
and it's
even
funny
at such a young age.
Gordy Rush got into my car one time, which, obviously married to my first cousin, and I think Hank Williams came on my radio. Like, I was listening to something. He was like, you do like country music? I was like, yeah. Like, I'm not just playing along. Like, I love country.
It's through my veins. I eat, sleep, and breathe it. That's literally how it is with us.
Yeah.
How cool is it though that just people that you know in the industry can like open up so many doors for you? Yeah. That's honestly how this podcast even came about, because of Thomas. Mm-hmm. He came in and did an interview with one of the guys that actually has a podcast here, and I started talking to Jim, and over the course of a year, he convinced me this is the route, something that I should do. But just the people that you meet along the way and the experiences that you get. I mean, you said you love experiences. Think about all of the things that you've done and the places you go, the people you meet, just from the job that you have.
So wild. Like, I never expected anything like that. And it's so funny, though, because my dad is just one of those people. He's very to himself. Like I said, he was like, don't talk to the media. Don't look at the media. If you talk to anybody in the media that knows my dad, like, to get him to do a conference was just pulling teeth. And so, but when he did it, he was great at it. A lot of doors, I guess, opened for me because of who I am related to. However, my dad was never that person to say, oh, this is what you want to do? I'm going to call A, B, and C, and I'm going to hound them. My dad was just like, I'm not calling. You need to go do that yourself. Like, he kind of made me go do it myself, because my dad doesn't like to ask people for stuff. And so...
And you learn crazy good work ethic throughout.
100%. That is something, like, I kind of pride myself on. Like, you can say A, B, C, D all about me. You can talk any kind of mad shit about me. You can't say I don't have a good work ethic.
And you have a great personality too, which obviously helps for being on the radio. And that actually wanted to bring up, so you have been to over 20 schools throughout your life, right?
Yeah, growing up, obviously my
dad
being a football
hard, like
coach.
Jumping around? Did you always fit in? Were you ever the outcast? I mean, I know you said that you felt like you were the ugly duckling growing up, but
so
I mean,
funny.
Was that hard?
I didn't know any better. So, like I said, my dad was a football coach. We always moved around a lot as a child. I feel like I didn't know any better. I thought it was normal to move around that much. I know I find a lot of people here, they were born here, they were raised here,
and they
grew
never
up here,
leave, ever.
And they stayed at the same school their whole lives. They grew up with the same people, and that's so wild to me, because I don't know that lifestyle. And
I think it makes you a very well-rounded person whenever you have to go and constantly adjust to something new.
Yeah.
And that creates this personality that you have, because you're always in front of a new group of people, and you had no choice but to try to, not necessarily try to fit in, but you were always, like I said, in front of new people. So it gives you a little bit of this group you've learned, a little bit of this group, and it makes you so well-rounded.
Like, they say there's different cliques at different schools, like the Popular, the Goths, or whoever. I was friends with literally everyone.
I can agree with that. I was the exact same way, and I think that, again, that might be why we get along so well.
Yeah.
There's no judgment behind us, no judgment at all. We accept everybody for who they are.
But I was kind of shy sometimes. So I remember,
I don't think I've ever had a shy bone in my body unless you turn a camera on in front of me. And then it's like, how do I speak?
No, I used to be so shy. I remember y'all are gonna be like, oh, Brittany, oh yeah, don't feel sorry for me. I literally was in new high school one time, and I was only there a year, but I remember I was so shy. I didn't want to go talk to anybody. I would sit by myself at lunch every day, just outside. I would never go eat. I would never go in. I would just sit outside. I know. Don't
see, and I was the obnoxious person that was going to sit with the person that was sitting outside by themselves because I can't stand for anyone to feel alone.
But like that didn't bother me, I guess. But like I say that to say there was a lot of times that I'd be like, hey, can I sit with you? And I, like I said, I'm friends with everybody. So it wasn't like, I don't know, like that didn't make me sad by any means.
Right. It made things easy for you. We actually jumped over. You mentioned that you have a son. So you're a mom, a new mom.
Yeah.
And also a stepmom. So I guess my question, because I'm obviously a stepmom too, was there an adjustment period trying to, we don't have to go, too in depth, but everyone says that there's baby mama drama here and there.
Always,
But did you ever have that issue, or was everything pretty easy going?
No, girl. I feel like that is one of probably the hardest things I've ever had to deal with in my life. Like you said, I've gone through a lot of stuff, having moved different schools and whatnot. But to go into a relationship that someone that has a son, but also just had a, I guess you could say, a difficult relationship with his mother of his child and whatnot, that
I'm sure everyone goes through their ups and downs for
100%.
sure. And like in my personal experience, I want the kid to feel like I absolutely, like they are mine.
Yeah.
But you also have this weird boundary that you don't want to cross of understanding that you are not the parent, you're not the mother. So that was probably one of the biggest things for me is I want to be there. I want to show you that I am just as much your mom as you want me to be.
Right.
But then there's always that weird.
It's hard. It's so hard. And it's funny. Kendall and I have been together almost 10 years now, and we're still trying to find that balance between us. We did have a lot of drama, I guess, in the beginning. It's starting to get a lot better. I talked to her yesterday, like over 20-something minutes on the phone. Trying
and
to
people grow. They understand each other more as the time goes on. And obviously in the very beginning, you don't know how to take the other person. And whenever it's the person's past, there's so much baggage. There's so much that comes along with it.
I feel like one of the best pieces of, I wouldn't even say it's advice, the best I guess thing I've ever heard a friend tell me was she had a son and she got married to somebody that obviously wasn't her son's father, saying that being a step-parent is the hardest because they do the same work as the normal parent, the biological parent.
I just got the chills. I know where you're going with it.
With the money or with just showing up and whatnot, but they don't get the same credit. In which is something you sign up for, and it's hard. And trust me, it's so hard because.
But it's also so rewarding because you have another child in your life that you get to see grow up and be a part of everything.
It's one of those things that I'm like, okay, but when you get older, like you don't realize how much is going on now. But I would like to think as he gets older, he's going to realize.
He'll understand, for sure. You really will figure it out. So your new baby, how old is he?
Baby Colt, y'all. Baby Colt,
he is the cutest little thing. He really is.
I feel like he's the
always
star
a smile on
of the
face.
show on Off the Record. Like on my radio show, I feel like I'm always talking about Baby Colt. And it's funny because a lot of times I feel like, oh my gosh, people don't know Colt. They don't care about Colt, Brittany. Like,
oh no, we care. We all care about Colt.
But it's so funny. I had people always come up and be like, oh my gosh, so I remember you saying that Colt had his little helmet on. Like, what's going on with this helmet? Like, they ask questions. They want to know. And so it's really funny that people do get like involved in his life and can watch him grow up on social media.
Do you mind if I pop a little picture in right now?
No, go for
okay,
it.
So, and that actually, we're going to talk about the night that picture was taken. The last time we were together for a podcast. But he's so cute. And he wears it well. He has this beautiful little smile.
Yeah.
So we'll pop that little picture in there and show you who Baby Colt is.
Yes, Baby Colt is now 13 months old. So he's growing. He's getting so big now. He's so tall and he's handsome. He looks a lot like his daddy.
Don't you love that? You spent all of this time. You spent all this time being pregnant and then come out looking just like him.
Oh, look, I keep saying, I was like, maybe he'll be a quarterback like my dad. Maybe he's got those genes. Maybe he'll be a musician like his dad. We'll see. My dad has already said that he was going to make him a quarterback. And I was like, all right, whatever is going to help support mama when he gets older.
With parents like you and Kendall, he has no choice but to be successful. So
I hope so.
Yeah, for
Thank
sure.
you.
So, okay, Kendall, we've talked about the fact that you're married to a musician.
Yeah.
Kendall Schaefer.
Kendall Schaefer,
How did y'all meet? How did this come about?
Look, if you ask Kendall, he is going to tell you something different, but I'm going to tell you the real story. So
yeah, let's get juicy with it.
Yeah, let's get juicy with it. Like Kendall used to always tell people that I was a not a stalker, a roadie, or was it the girls that
a groupie?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I couldn't think of the word because I wasn't one. So Kendall used to always tell everybody that I was a groupie, that I went to all his shows and I was like watching him, and I'm like, that's not the case. I said, so the case was when I had moved back from Alabama, I moved here. I had one of my best friends, Adrian, was dating his drummer at the time, and so I didn't have a lot of friends here because I just moved here and whatnot. So and I was working with Adrian. So she's like, you want to go to a show with me? And I'm like, sure. So I would always go to shows with her to watch her at the time boyfriend play
But
drums.
Meanwhile, he thinks that you're just there stalking him.
I'm stalking him or something. And I'm like, that's just not the case. So that's how we kind of, I guess, started mingling in together. And it's so funny because her boyfriend at the time, that was his drummer, said, oh, like, you need to get with Kendall. You need to talk to Kendall. And I said, no. Like, I've dated a musician before, like a country singer. I was like, I've done it. I don't want to do it again. I'm not getting into that.
And he's as country as it gets. I mean, he is traditional country. He's killer. So a little funny story about being a groupie and involving Kendall.
Oh,
kind of embarrassing on my part. But in the very beginning, whenever we were doing the whole music thing, Tommy and I had first started dating. We were at Fathead's. It was at Fathead Seafood, I think. Yeah. Tommy was doing an acoustic show there, and a guy walked in, and he had a blonde with him. And I was like, is that Kendall Schaefer? I'm pretty sure it's Kendall Schaefer because I found out who he was because I think he covered a song called Ghost. I don't remember who sings.
Jake Owen.
Yes. And I fell in love with that song.
It's really good.
Didn't fall in love with Kendall, but you know what I mean. Like you fall in love with the musician itself.
For sure.
And so I walk up to this person because I was convinced and I was like, this has got to be Kendall. I'm like, can I get a picture with you?
I've never heard this story.
Yes. No, I've never told you. I saved it.
Saved
it for this moment. No. So I walk up and I'm like, can I get a picture with you? And he's like, his girl's looking at me like, who even is this girl? And I'm like, no, for real. Like, I love your music. And finally come to find out that he was not Kendall Schaefer, but it was so fresh in the beginning.
That is hilarious.
So at that moment, I was like, I can no longer be fangirls of people that we might potentially be friends with one day.
Right.
Makes for very weird interactions.
Do you get that a lot where girls come up to Thomas wanting pictures or kind of fangirling over them and like I have people ask me that all the time. Like, oh, what about the girls that are at his shows that hit on him or whatever? Like,
I'm so glad you brought this up.
Yes.
It actually does not bother me now.
Neither.
It used to bother me in the beginning because, like I said, I was insecure.
Yeah.
I was coming into a place where I was like completely shell-shocked, or is that the right word? Anyway, I was shell-shocked, not knowing what to expect, and you had all these women constantly all over your man. Girl, I literally had someone come up to me at a show and say, how do his kisses feel?
Oh, yeah, you've told me this before.
And I was like, what? What do you mean? How do I had no words.
I
was like, I mean, they feel great. They feel like I'm married to him. I mean, I don't know. But so I finally realized, and look, my husband,
he's because of the beard, maybe?
I guess. I have no idea what she meant by it, but he is so respectful and makes, like, you know how he brings me on stage. When he started doing that, it got me a little more comfortable understanding that these girls know who I am. And he also does the Keanu Reeves thing too. Like when he takes pictures with girls, like he will put his hands out like this and close his hand. He won't touch them.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so you'll see him in pictures with like just hovering hands. And I'm like, yeah, that's my man. That's him. I'm so proud.
Yes.
But no, it doesn't bother me. Kind of inappropriate to say, I guess, but they pay my bills.
100%.
I mean, they do. At the end of the day.
Kendall will call and tell me like, oh, this one girl, like as a joke or something, like, oh, that's, this one girl hit on me and whatever. I said, well, did she buy you drinks? Like,
right.
Did she tip you good? Like, tell me, like.
Did she buy some merch? If she bought some merch, we're solid. She can do it again.
100%. But like he always like kind of jokes, and people kind of ask that all the time, and I get some pretty funny stories.
Were you ever jealous at any point in time, or were you always just like understanding? I was definitely jealous. Like there was a point in time where Tommy and I had to actually have a conversation because he said, I'm not able to perform on stage. Like, and this was in the very beginning.
Yes.
I promise I'm not crazy like that anymore.
No.
At least not in that aspect.
No, I'm crazy. I get it.
But he was like, I can't perform like I want to on stage because I'm constantly looking at you, looking at me, look at girls, trying to see what's going on. And he's like, you make me uncomfortable up there.
Yeah.
But that's one very special thing about our relationship is that we're able to have those uncomfortable conversations.
You have to.
And it it progressed into me being totally fine. He explained everything. He said, when I'm up there on that stage, girls don't care about anything except for the fact that I am on the stage.
Yeah.
If they saw me at home in my lounge clothes or at Walmart or whatever it may be,
behind the scenes, y'all,
they really could care less. They would not even have any interest in me at all. So I guess all of that together made me feel better, and I'm way better with it now. There's not a drop of jealousy.
I'm the same way. I guess I could say that I was a little in the beginning and whatnot, but I think that more so stemmed from, like I said, I dated a country singer beforehand, and he was the one to kind of pursue things.
It's all about the guy.
Got burned. And so in the beginning, I guess, and I was young, and like me and Kendall weren't, I guess, as like steady and whatnot as we were obviously now. But it went away pretty quickly, the whole jealousy thing. And now, like I said, it doesn't bother me. Kendall doesn't pursue it. He actually tells me all the time if somebody comes up and like asks him or anything or says anything, he always tells them, well, my wife is crazy. So,
yeah, exactly.
And I'm like,
when he talks about the song that I wrote, the little bit of crazy one, he always says, you know, it might be a little scary at first, but you know your woman's always going to have your back. So they know that we're crazy, and I think they like it secretly.
For sure. I want to ask you a question though. Do you mind?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so how do you feel? You mentioned how Thomas brings you on stage a lot. I know you're very involved in his music. Like,
I am.
You are.
I write music with him. I do all of that. But
I mean,
bringing me on stage, golly. Okay, so I still come off unless I've had a lot to drink. I come off stage and I'm shaking.
Yeah.
And then people are looking at me. So like I go run and I hide, and I don't know. So my most awkward moment, I think, was at Cajun Country Jam.
Yeah.
He didn't bring me up there on stage just because of the set time.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of
It's
it,
very
at the end of it, they were chanting. They were like, Lucy, Lucy. Yeah. So I go up there, and at that moment, I was expecting him to grab me, but then he had to go sign a hat and didn't realize I was coming on stage.
Yeah.
So I'm walking up and he's walking away. So I'm just standing in the middle of the stage, and I do this little awkward like hi, and then like a little scuffle off. But no, I would be lying if I said that I didn't love that he brings me up there.
Yeah.
But I still get nervous to the core every single time, and I don't know that that's ever going to go away.
Yeah.
But,
do you love being very involved in his music as far as like his social media goes, as far as his writing process goes and stuff like that? Because I feel like I stay very hands off with Kendall. And so it's so funny. I feel like we're in different.
It's like, I mean, it's a mixture. Yeah. So just real quick, in the very beginning, whenever we got together and we decided we were going to quit our jobs, I had not a clue what I was doing in this music industry. I was just like, you know, he's playing the same 6 bars around our hometown. We've obviously got to branch out and do something different. So I'm Googling all hours of the night how to do this, and started just emailing people. And I, in a sense, became a manager type, thing for him. Yeah. And I loved it. It was addicting. And I loved talking to the people, and it's kind of like a sense of accomplishment whenever you get him into a new venue and you're like, wow, I had a part in that.
Yeah.
And it is not very common for the wife to be so involved, I guess, as I am. But it works for us. Yeah. I mean, you have Bunny and Jelly Roll. You have Jason and Brittany. Yeah. So, I mean, it's whatever works for you individually. And for us, it just... I mean, when he's on stage and he's performing, I'm the one running around networking, getting contacts and just talking to people, making them feel welcome, telling them thank you for being here, because without me being the one doing that, after the show, he has maybe 30 minutes to an hour where it's just like bam, bam, bam person, you know, from one person to the next. So
you have to regulate it.
Yeah. In a sense, I think that me being a part of it has been very beneficial to his career. Yeah. But at the same time, you have the single women that can't stand the fact that he's married. And so we've probably lost a few fans along the way.
That's okay. You just have to deal with that. Somewhat like another really great band wife is Lindsay Noto, Chase Tyler's wife. She's very involved and hands-on.
I literally call her the godmother.
Yeah.
I do. Every time I see her, she is the one that got me really comfortable with being a part of everything.
Yeah.
She always has the best advice, the best things to tell you. But yeah, that's funny that you bring her up. Yeah. I'm hoping to have her on the show also as the godmother.
She'd be a great one for sure. Just because I feel like too, and maybe this is the reason that I am not as hands-on, because I would love to be a little bit more hands-on maybe. But on the other hand,
you also have so much going on with you. I have so much going on,
but I always want people to know that it's Kendall doing it himself, because I'm in the radio business. I don't want people to ever think, oh, he's not good.
I actually never even thought about that.
Yeah, I don't want people to say, oh, he's not actually good. His wife is was just in that industry and got
Oh,
away.
no, that's
You know what I'm
actually
saying?
deep. Yeah, I've never even thought about it from that point of view, but
Yeah, we don't play Kendall because Kendall's my husband. We play Kendall because Kendall's good. Like, you know what I'm saying? I want people to know
dude,
that.
Kendall he's incredible. Like I said, I was fangirling over him.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that is one of the reasons that I kind of let him do his own thing. That way people don't ever think that I'm being biased or playing favorites. Like, I
Right,
would
yeah,
never
for
want
sure.
that. Yeah. He's got to earn it himself just like I did, you know? Like,
And he has the talent.
yes,
He has it.
and he's done it. Right.
So we're drinking our Lucy juice here. Let's cheers to it real quick. But I want to tell one of my favorite stories of me and you on the Lucy juice.
All right.
So we're doing a podcast right now.
Tell me about this story because I don't know.
Do you don't remember
I
too
don't
much
remember
of it?
it. Yeah.
So the last time we were together, the guys were actually doing a podcast interview with Austin James for the Austin James Unleashed.
Yes.
And they left us unsupervised at a Mexican restaurant.
Does that.
And we had our fair share of Lucy juice.
Yeah.
And, as the night goes on, the drinks get
Mind
stronger.
you, I was like a new mom at the time.
Yeah,
so
like
I had
fresh just had a baby.
Really drank that much since. So that was my first like night that I had drank.
So they come back over there and Tommy's like,
I didn't want you to think I was a lightweight. That's why I had to like.
you had to make sure that was known. I mean, it was a little questionable. But so they get back over there and I'm like, I think we're going to go live. And then both of the guys are like, I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, Brittany's drunk and we're just like, no, we're definitely going to go live. So we get on live.
It's a great idea.
Immediately. Shit got weird. Conversations were had that should not have been had. I had people texting me.
I don't even know what we talked about.
I don't know all of it either, but people were texting me and they were like, girl, did you just say that? And I was like, I don't know, did I? So anyway, needless to say, we deleted the live. But then a few minutes later, we have Brittany laid. Is it okay that I share this? It's so much fun. She's a great person. Good time. So she's laid in the booth and feet are up in the air. She's just having the time of her life.
I threw up on the way home. So
oh God.
Yeah.
Okay. So after the feet were up in the air, I think that was whenever the guys realized that it was probably time to take us home.
Yeah.
So I was, I don't know, being drunk somewhere doing something.
On the table.
Right, exactly. But you were somewhere else that we're getting to. I don't know if you remember this.
I don't remember any of this.
Kendall didn't tell you? This is so funny for me. Okay, I want to see your face.
That wasn't me. That was drunk me.
I want to see your face. Okay. So I finally get outside and Tommy goes, come here. We might need you for a second. And I was like, what? You're laid out in the parking lot on the ground. And Kendall's like, what are you doing? Get up. And you were like, I'm just tired. Or you said something. And he was like, if you don't get your ass up.
I thought you were going to say that I like was peeing in the grass or something.
Oh, no. You were just taking, I think, a little nap in the parking lot.
Yeah.
It was perfectly fine.
Look, if you would have told me I was peeing in the grass, that would have not shocked me at all.
So, no, we've had our fair share of good times on this Lucy juice.
Ooh, rough times, y'all. Rough times. Always a good time, though.
For sure. Mm-hmm. I think I want to talk about weird quirks because that's one of my biggest things. Like my little, what is it? The bio on my podcast is say the weird thing. Okay. So let's talk about a weird quirk of yours. Is there anything that you think that you do that might either bother your husband or other people or might not even bother them, but something that is very specific to you?
Yeah. I have a lot. I have a lot of weird quirks that I do. One of them, I have two.
Okay.
That y'all are gonna be like, what the hell? This is so random and weird. So before I put deodorant on, I have to smell my deodorant and then I'll put it on. So I know that's weird. I know it doesn't bother anybody, but like it's a weird quirk. That
it is a little different.
So
I mean,
weird.
Just to make sure that like the smell is still going strong.
I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I smell my deodorant and then I put it on. But my other weird quirk that this really bothers. I mean, there's a lot of things that I do that bother my husband, but I love so many different types of music that I can go from listening to the countryest of the country song to some like thug ass rap.
Oh my God, I'm telling you.
And honestly, like I don't even normally finish the songs. Like I hear my good parts that I like and then I switch to the next one. And Kendall's like, finish the song, Brittany. And I'm like, or even at the end, I'm like, it's just instrumental. I don't need to hear the instrumental. Like,
exactly. I want to get through like the verse and the chorus. So I cannot relate to you on the deodorant part. Like I don't smell my deodorant, but you, oh my God.
Maybe you should start doing that.
Maybe. It drives him nuts because like, I don't know. Is it OCD? So like I'll put it on this side and it'll be like 1, 2, 3 on this side, 1, 2, 3. But like if it doesn't feel right, I have to go back to this side. Yeah. So like it's like a sensory thing. I have to feel it and make sure like each side feels equal. Yeah. But as far as the music, I don't even think that's a weird quirk. That's 100% something I do.
Yeah.
I can't stand to hear a song from beginning to end. I'm going to jump around and you will get whiplash listening to my music because I go from like 5 Finger Death Punch to Boys to Men to Reba I mean, it's all over the place.
I know. I mean, that
shows that you're very versatile.
Yes. Yeah. And like, it's so funny because it's like, it's not even like my mood, I guess. Like, it's just like, I can be listening to this love song, the deepest, like sweetest love song, and then go to like some cheating song. And like, there's sometimes like I talk about songs. Oh my God, I just love this song. It's so great. And it's a song about being hurt and cheating. I'm like, I can't
relate to it, but I understand
but I love
it.
The song. Yeah,
for sure.
It's weird.
So one of mine, I don't even know what you call this, if it's a quirk or if it's not, but I know that it drives him nuts every single time we watch TV.
Okay.
I will have to either pause the show or have him rewind the show, like the episode, like 30 minutes, because every single new character that comes on the TV, I'm going to be like, oh wait, her mouth, the way that her mouth moves looks like another person in a show that we watched, or where did I see her from?
Right.
So I'm sitting there Googling, and I've even gone as far as to be like, it looks like, Brantley Gilbert and Dierks Bentley had a baby or something. And it's like, how do you even create that image in your head?
Right.
But I'm always trying to like associate something with something.
Yeah.
But I think that goes back to helping me with like knowing like the names of people and putting faces together.
At that.
Like I said,
so bad.
He like at shows, he may remember somebody.
Yeah.
But I will be whispering in his ear, and I'm like, you met this person this night.
Yeah.
This is their name. This is what y'all talked about, and this is even what they were wearing.
Yes.
So it's that association thing that I think helps me.
I'm the worst at that. Like Kendall is fairly good with names and faces, but it can be somebody that I've met 20 times and I'm like, I don't remember their name. Or somebody that like I know I'm supposed to know, and they'll walk in and Kendall be like, well, that's so-and-so, so-and-so. And I'm like, shit, I didn't realize that was who that was. And so, yeah, I'm the worst with names and faces. And I don't want that to come off as like me being a bitch because like I don't remember you. Like it's just legit.
By no
like,
means,
I'm
but
so
I mean,
bad
you meet so many people. You really do.
Well, that's sometimes I'm always like, okay, am I supposed to know this person? Like, have I met this person before? Or are they just coming up and talking to me because they feel like they know me? And it's a hard mix. It's hard to really figure out. But to go back to like your TV show thing, it's kind of a quirk. I'm sure I would see where people hate it. I have a show like that I like to binge watch, and I'll binge watch shows, and I'll find something that me and Kendall want to watch together, and I will watch it without Kendall.
Oh, that's tough.
Oh, and like he doesn't really care so much. Like he's never really like he will be like, oh, I could tell that you've been watching this without me, and like he would just keep it going, like keep watching. I would be so mad if he did that to me.
I'm telling you, I started this talking about like this podcast off talking about how I just have like my little things that make me mad, piss me off, or I'll just wake up on the wrong side of the bed. That is one sure way of pissing me off.
Yeah.
Because especially I'm the first person that falls asleep at night.
Yeah. Oh, no,
like I'll lay in his lap or whatever and go to sleep. And you better know the moment that I am like eyes closed and asleep, and you pause it and you wait for me.
Yeah.
Because if we have to, if you watch an episode or two before me, it's gonna be hell in this house.
I do it so bad, and he doesn't get mad at me for it. I don't know. I mean, I would, like I said. So
he seems real chill, real relaxed
for the most part. Yeah. But he falls asleep before me normally. Or like he'll be snoring, I'll look and I'll hit him and he'll be like, I went sleeping. I'm like,
I was resting my eyes.
Yeah. So no, yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think we've kind of like honestly talked about anything and everything there is to talk about. Is there anything else you want to bring up or another question for me?
I'm trying to think.
You're normally the interviewer and I'm working on it here, but
yeah. No, so it's funny. You mentioned something earlier that kind of made me think about it. Obviously when I do a lot of interviews with country artists, I want to know, what music do you have coming out? What music have you had in the past that you want to talk about? What shows do you have coming up and things like that? And people want to hear that stuff, don't get me wrong, but a lot of times I do try to think of different questions that I can ask them about their personal life, that things that people don't really know that they're not going to ask that we can find out. We do something when I go like for the CMA Awards, the ACMs, we do like these little remotes, and I have something that calls like burning questions or talking trash, where artists can like pull questions out.
Oh, that'd be a cool idea. I might have to steal that from you.
Yeah. And so it gets some of them are a little raunchy, some of them are like very clean, whatever so you want to do. So it kind of pulls them out a little bit more personal, some more like just for people to get to know them a little bit better.
Put me on the spot real quick.
Yes.
What's the first one that comes to your mind?
Like the questions?
Yeah, give me one. Hit me with one.
So for example, too, like it kind of plans out so good sometimes. Like Jelly Roll, one of the first ones that he had ever pulled out was, have you ever done anything illegal? Well, obviously we all know Jelly Roll, right? But he was like, I just did something illegal in the parking lot, like talking about that. And we're like, mind you, doing these remotes like at a church. So
oh my.
So it was funny. I mean, I've had another one. It was an artist. He was the singer of Trick Pony, and he told me about a time that he tried to fight Toby Keith. And so it just kind of pulls out like really cool stories from people, something a little bit different than like, oh, what song do you have coming out next? Any new music? Like things like that.
Right, because that's very repetitive. I mean, they're going to talk about that nonstop, but whenever you can get like the real juicy details.
The juicy stuff. And it's always really cool when you can get them to talk about another country artist as well. So,
for sure. All right, well, I guess that's it. That's going to wrap it up. This is my girl, Brittany Rose, 100.7 The Tiger.
Thanks for having me.
For sure. So if they want to follow you on social media, where can they do so?
Oh, so I'm all over social media. I mean, for the most part, I have a Brittany Rose Facebook page that you can definitely follow me on. A lot of it's just pictures of baby Colt.
Which we love and we want to see.
Right. Obviously, you can follow Instagram for 100.7 The Tiger. I have this is so pitiful that I don't know a lot of my handles. Like Brittany Rose Tiger, I think is my Instagram handle. I have an off the record Instagram.
We'll try to find them and we'll link them on the video.
I mean,
and then what time, real quick, also, what time do you air if they want to listen to you on the radio?
Yeah, so 100.7 The Tiger, off the record, 3 to 7, Monday through Friday. So definitely tune in for that because you never know what the hell I'm going to say.
That's exactly it. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed it. I honestly don't know how you couldn't have. I mean, it's me and Brittany here, and we have all the tequila stories.
Always a good time.
But if you did like it, you can follow me on all of the social media platforms, The Juice with Lucy. And if you didn't like it, not my problem.
What's wrong?